Hello and welcome to tonight's Playcast. Playing some more Stardew Valley here. I don't recall what I was doing. Looks like I had some geodes I was getting ready to go. Oh, I don't have my hoe. I must need to go get my hoe back from Clint. Let's see. And I need to take Linus's basket to him. Okay. That gives me a couple things to do. I don't care about that. Okay, it's gonna rain tomorrow. Fair coming up. Alright. I've really got to get these chests organized so I know what's going where. Let's see. It's a busy weekend, but finally got a break in the weather, and it was close to 60 today, and even this evening it was nice enough to just sit out on the porch for a while. It's been a while since that was the case. It's not going to last. I think by tomorrow night it's going to get cold again, but not terrible cold like it was. It's just going to be normal cold, like 20s type of thing, which is alright. I guess I need to get a cheese maker built, don't I? Wood, stone, hardwood. There's the wood, the hardwood, and the stone. And I suppose I'll put it here for now. It's not where I'm going to want it eventually, but... So anyway, like I said, it was, I think it's still like 50 out even though it's pretty late. And it's like 80 degrees in here because I got some really good firewood. Some really dry stuff the other day. And so got a good hot fire going. And it doesn't need to be very hot, and so it really ran the temperature up in here today. Which 80 is pretty hot when you normally keep it in the mid-60s. And the chickens got out and roamed around for the first time in over a month, I suppose. We're able to roam around the yard without any snow on. Let's see, gotta pick my berries here. Oh, I guess I already got those. What do we got going on in here? Nothing. Well, a fancy mushroom. And I published a couple of videos, and it's just been a pretty busy weekend. I had some kind of issue with my last, actually I guess it was my last Stardew Valley Playcast. I uploaded it to BitChute 3 times, and it kept getting stuck in the process or publish phase that it has. After you upload something, it's got to be processed, and then it gets published. And usually it takes maybe an hour to do that. And this time it just wouldn't come out of that. Would never finish. I'd let it go overnight, and it still wouldn't get finished. So I finally said screw it, and I went on YouTube and created a new channel just for games, just for this Playcast stuff and playing games. So I'd have a separate channel for my programming stuff, because I don't think the people that are subscribing for the programming stuff necessarily want this. So I said, well, I'll create a second channel for that. Dump them on YouTube. They're not important anyway, so. And the thing is, I save them all. I don't get rid of any of these videos. I save my own copies, so even if a site like YouTube would suddenly dump them, I still have them. It's not. They don't have to be 2 places for that. I prefer using BitChute because it's not part of the empire. And they've been getting hassled lately by companies trying to drive them out of business because they're not politically correct enough. So I like to use it and support it as much as possible. But with that one particular video, I don't know if it was too large or too what, but I need a jade. Well, I gotta get to Clint before 4 o'clock though. I can get Elliot his jade tomorrow. I always do that. I forget to actually accept the quest. Then I'll go get the thing and give it to the person, and it won't count. Say hi. Doop doop. Yes, I know how it works. I guess I could have brought. Nah, I don't have enough money to upgrade anything else, I guess. Alright, did I get anything new? Yes, I did. Well, there's Elliot. I can go get that jade. Get back here with it. I think I have jade anyway. Pretty sure I got a couple. Yep. Let's see. Okay. Unload a little bit while I'm here. Get rid of the mushrooms. Uh, 73 blackberries already. Good grief. How did I pick up that many already? I guess 3 at a time. Oh, watch, he'll be gone already. Nope. Okay, I gotta get Linus's basket. I gotta keep forgetting that. First time I played this game, I had no idea there was this area. For whatever reason, I just assumed that you couldn't go left or right from the bus, that you couldn't go down the road. But you can, and there's where you find it. Taking all the shortcuts today. I guess he didn't give me any money for it. He just said thanks. I guess that was my good deed for the day. I've about got all the books yet. Well, this was supposed to be an unlucky day, and yet I'm finding artifact spots and forage stuff just all over the place. I don't know, maybe it's because I hadn't gone that way yet this month, and so they kind of stacked up. I'm not sure how that works. Okay, yeah. So I made cheese. Let's see, have I done? No, haven't raised all that stuff yet. I've already done the fall forage, so I don't need this for that. There. Excuse me. I guess I guess I've got some time and energy left. I'll go cut some stumps. I had another conversation a couple days ago about the need for decent Linux, Unix teaching, which is something I think I've talked about on here before, and I've been thinking about for a while, because I think I said I've had conversations with at least 3 different people now about how hard it is to find people with just basic skills in that area who are just competent. It's not that they're not looking for like system administrators. They're just looking for people who can competently use the system while they do their work, whatever their work happens to be. It's just their work requires them to at least be familiar with Linux. And it just doesn't seem like very many people are, which, again, is weird to me, but that's what they're saying, so I assume that's the case. So the question then becomes, how do you teach that, or how can you teach that? How much can you expect people to actually learn? And how long would it take? And what could people afford to pay for the course? And is it something you could do online remotely, or would it, I mean, some things are a lot easier to learn if you're actually in a classroom setting with a teacher and you can ask questions right there. And that's how I teach anyway, is a lot of back and forth questions and answers, not really any lecturing. So I don't know, it's something I think, because right now it's, the next chance, if I were going to teach at the community college, the next chance to do that would be the summer semester, which is quite a ways off. So I think what I'm going to do is start putting together at least a concept of a curriculum, and then figure out, okay, is this something that I'd want to do there? Do I want to talk to them about possibly having it as a course, or do I want to just try to do it privately, taking students somehow? Because it really seems like there's a need for it. I guess the question is there a supply? You say, okay, there's a need for people to learn this stuff, but is there a supply of people willing and wanting to learn it and having the aptitude for it, that they'd be capable of learning it? Because I'm not one of those people that says, oh, anybody can learn anything if they just put their mind to it. That's actually not true. It's a nice thought, but it's not true. Keeping those. Hello, they're there. So you just don't know. It's like, would there be people interested, and would they be able to do it? Would they be able to get it? Because what happens is companies are trying to hire people, and some of these are companies that they do want to hire local, they do want to hire Americans, and yet they're having trouble finding people who are capable. And some of them have gone the foreign route, the outsourcing route. They've found out those people aren't capable, but they're still trying to find somebody. And the tech schools and the community colleges don't turn out capable people most of the time. They turn out people that have had just a smattering of the topic and didn't get into it in any depth, and they don't really understand any of it. They're not capable of just handing them anything to work on and say, here, what do you do with this? So that's kind of the question, is would I be able to do better than that? Would I be able to turn out students who could actually impress on an interview like that? I could walk in and say, yeah, I can do this. You can, and not like I'm already an expert, but just I'm capable of figuring some things out. If you show me a problem, I'm capable of sitting down and working at it. Because that's really more important than it's impossible to already know how to do everything, but even if you could, that's not as important as being able to figure out things, because there's just too many different things come along. I need to upgrade my coop soon so I can have an incubator and get more chickens and get a duck. Got the milk. Drop off the milk. So anyway, that's a little bit more of a long-term plan, but that's something I'm planning to work on. And do some teaching, but it'd be more adult teaching. I mean, I guess it wouldn't necessarily, there's no reason you couldn't take some younger people doing that, but I think it would be oriented more towards adults, or at least older high school kids. Let's see. Gotta remember to take the shortcut here. Gonna go to the mines since it's raining. Let's go shallow, get some copper and back here, you bugger. Where are all the Dougies? Come on. I need to kill some Dougies so I can get a reward for it. Yeah, not on this level, I guess. But we were talking, and that kind of ties into some of the other stuff I've been talking about doing, or doing with my programming stuff. Just the idea that people don't seem to be learning this stuff very well anymore, and I think it's partly because the tools for learning it, or the concepts people try to learn, just aren't they just aren't conducive to learning. It's kind of a hard thing to explain exactly, but it's a lot of things these days seem like they've been both simultaneously dumbed down and made more difficult. Like, they've tried to dumb them down, and the result has been that it's harder to understand them. Which again sounds like a contradiction, but it's kind of, I mean, if you make something dumb enough, hey, there, I got my goal complete. Sometimes the dumber you make something, the more you're kind of hiding the information. You're making it harder for somebody who actually understands it to just look at it and say, oh, this is what it means. We were talking about that when we talked about programming, that used to be, if you wanted to learn a programming language, the first thing you did typically was write a hello world program. Just a program that would print out hello world was kind of always sort of the first thing, and you'd look at how you write a hello world program, and that would kind of give you an idea of, hey, this is what this language is like. How complicated is it to get it to do that? It'd give you a quick look at what the syntax is like and the things like that. And some of the newer languages, you go and you look and you think, okay, I'm going to go see what it's like to program in this language. And instead of finding just a simple hello world example, you find whole pages of, well, here's how you install your development environment. And here's how you install your extra tools and your APIs and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, I just want to know. Just give me 5 lines of code that prints hello world, or 2 lines, or 10 lines, or whatever it takes. But just give me an example. It's like they won't even give you an example. Because you wouldn't understand the example right off the bat, and so they're trying to make it easier than that. They're trying to make it so easy anybody could do it, and then that actually, in a roundabout way, makes it harder to pick it up, because they're hiding a lot of the information from you to try to simplify it. So there seems to be a lot of that going on, that it's harder to learn things because the things have been dumbed down, and the information that would help you to learn them isn't available, because making that available would make it more difficult. I know, it's a weird sort of thing, because I look back at the computers of like the 80s and see they were objectively harder to do anything with. They just were. It's certainly harder to type commands than it is to look at the screen and click on what you want. But at the same time, the people who owned them sat down and learned to program quite commonly. It was kind of expected that you would, and so people did. And even though those computers were harder to use, people learned more with them. And you could say, well, people were smarter then, but I don't know that that's true. It's more likely that technology changed than people changed, and we just are surprised by how the technology changed is affecting it, or is affecting us. If you have people that all they really understand about a computer is that you point at things and click on them and they do what you want, well then, when those people try to learn to program, somebody says, well, let's give them an interface where instead of writing commands to program, they just point and click at things. But you can't really program that way, because programming is logic and decision making. And that just doesn't work. So you get these interfaces where it's like, well, you drag the thing that you want to do whatever over to this other thing that you drag the action over to the object or whatever, and then the IDE will write the code for you. Like, okay, but then you get programmers that don't understand what they're doing. They're kind of cargo cult programmers, where they're pulling together things that they've seen work together in other cases, but they don't really understand why they work together. It's just like, well, if I put this next to this, then I have a program. Like, well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. So I don't know. And that's why when we were talking about it, I said I think I would be tempted to start new programmers off with like Commodore 64 Basic or something like that, just because even though it's entirely useless today in terms of being a programmer, that level of programming was just really good for getting people started, for getting them an idea of what the concept is like. So I probably wouldn't, well, I don't know, if I was actually teaching a college course, I don't know, I might spend a day just showing them, walking them through some things like that. If they were truly beginners, I might walk them through some basic programs and some examples like that, just to say, you know, anybody can understand this. You're going to get into stuff you can't understand so easily, but you know, you can understand this. And if you can understand this, then you can work up to harder stuff. It was like today, or yesterday, whenever it was, I did my last 6502 video. I realized what I was doing was pointers to pointers. Double, or you can call them double pointers. And so I had a list of pointers in memory pointing to things, and then I had a couple of other pointers pointing to locations in that list where they could skim back and forth through that list, picking up different locations out of it. So that's kind of it's a difficult concept in a lot of languages, and I just kind of realized as I was putting this program together, I was like, oh, hey, these are pointers to pointers. Because it wasn't like an academic exercise where somebody says, okay, now you have to make a list of pointers to pointers. It was something that I just realized, you know, it came together naturally as what was needed. And I probably wouldn't have if I'd been planning ahead, like as a course. I wouldn't have tried, you know, I wouldn't have done something like that in a beginner's programming course. I wouldn't have said, hey, let's do pointers to pointers, because I know it's tough. But when you're working with really simple, down to just the very basics languages, then I think you can bring in more difficult topics, because the language itself isn't going to give you any trouble. And you can just focus on the topics. The actual difficult thing that you're trying to do. Well, I better eat something, I guess, before I get passy outy. So anyway, that's a lot of rambling to say. I think there's probably ways to teach programming better than it's being taught most places. But whether I can successfully do it, I don't know. I'd be willing to give it a shot, but I don't know. Certainly couldn't guarantee anything. What do I want to get rid of here? I've probably got plenty of this. It's gonna be time to get out of here pretty soon. And that was a good time. And I got a decent amount of copper out of that deal. Out of that particular run. Because I think I've got some in here. Let's see, I've got no copper in there, so let's just go ahead and have at it. Sell that, keep one of them. Need to sell that sometime, sell that sometime. Oops. Guess that goes there. And that. I guess I'll leave that there. Those will wait till spring. Oh, that's what I'm thinking about, bait. I think I'm pretty sure I could teach people the old programming. And really, the Linux stuff I'm talking about isn't even programming, but it's it's related mindsets. I mean, if you can do one, you would have some aptitude for the other. But that's the thing, that the schools are teaching programming more so than just system capability. Alright. And to bed we go. Rain again tomorrow. Well, so do I go back to the mines tomorrow or do I fish? Those are basically the two useful things to do when it's raining. Either go mining or go fishing. I think I'll go fishing since I went mining today, or that day. And what about tomorrow? Oh, no rain tomorrow. And the grapes are finally bearing. Yeah, I've got room in here, except for the fruit. You don't actually have to gather the eggs every day. They'll just pile up on the floor. But yeah, like I said, I keep getting off track, but I think the key would be not just can I teach a class, but can I teach a class and get these people prepared to actually do the work and be capable of it, or at it. And what else we got in here? Sell a cheese. Not making pale ale very fast. I guess that's because I've only got one keg. I used to have more. Alright, let's go over and have Clint crack some geodes and then go fishing. Be nice to Shane, even though he's rude. Corn for Willie. Okay, well, I'll run home and get some corn. Getting tired of learning how things talk about. I saw people were complaining online about the football game being boring. I still haven't watched any for a couple of years. They lost me a while back, just various bullshit. But well, if you were looking for good football, you're probably disappointed. But I'm sure there will be drama and all the reality TV type stuff that people crave these days. What I come here to... That's right, I came here to give Willie something. Corn, that's right. Okay. I probably didn't make diddly doing that. Better than a poke in the eye, I guess. The last game before one thing that always annoyed me, even when I was watching, was the 2-week gap between the previous games and then the Super Bowl. They do it because they've got all kinds of corporate crap going on wherever the Super Bowl is being held. So they don't care that basically it's 2 weeks is enough time for the fans to practically forget that football is still happening. They've got corporate sponsors to take care of, and so they drag the thing out as long as they can. And but after the games last week, I was listening to some sports radio shows, and the interesting thing was they spent maybe 10 minutes talking about the actual games, the actual football, and then the rest of the week talking about all the drama, the replays, and the bad officiating, and this coach being mad about this or whatever. It's like it's all everything's gotten infected by reality TV, and now with replays, even that is sort of, if people are used to reality TV and the idea that things are decided by judges or voting committees or whatever, and so at the end of the show you sit and wait. You wait while there's all this suspense, while you wait for somebody to decide something. It's like, well, that's what they've got now in football with the replays. They've got a reality TV style judging scenario that you have to, you've got all this suspense and drama as you wait to find out what someone somewhere decided. And the drama isn't about the play then. The drama is about, how will they decide? Which way will they go, and then how will people react to it? And it's not sports. That's not what sports is. And I don't know if you can put the replay toothpaste back in the tube necessarily, because as long as you have slow motion replays up on the screens in the stadiums and on everybody's big screen TVs, people are going to see that calls were missed. But it seems like they still do see that calls were missed. It's just now you got to wait longer for them to get done discussing it before they get the call wrong. It's going to be really interesting once there's gambling all over the place, which it's already spread in some states, but when gambling becomes just so common, and some of the gambling purveyors want to go really kind of nuts with it. They want to make it so you can bet on every play, so you could bet on whether the next play will be a pass or a run and stuff like that, and really, really narrowed down prop bets of all sorts. And when there's all that going on, and when a lot of people are putting down a lot of money on it, there's going to be a lot more scrutiny over the job the refs are doing, and why you know, when everybody says you can see on replay what happened, and then the refs decide the other way, there's going to be a lot of people saying, "Come on, there's got to be something going on here. Somebody's getting paid." So I don't know. It looks to me like they're setting themselves up for a lot of hassle, but like I said, they lost me a few years ago. Football is still a great sport, but the NFL has managed to kind of spoil it, and the advertisers and all the corporations involved in it and all their woke ads don't help any either. I'll be kind of interested to see if the XFL gets started, or whatever the competing leagues are going to be that are going to try to get in on it. Be interesting to see what they do if they try to go back to actual football the way it used to be, more of a man's sport without all the side drama, or if they embrace the drama and try to outdo the NFL in that. It's hard to say, because the NFL has lost viewers over the last few years, but it's still the biggest thing on TV by far. And that's what all the sports people console them with. It's like, well, it's still the biggest thing on TV. It's like, yeah, but you're losing people. You can't get around that. They gained a few people back this year because they had a big draft class that excited people. A big draft class specifically of quarterbacks, because that's all anybody really cares about. Yeah. I might actually be fishing in the less than ideal place now that I think about it. I think I might be able to catch the legendary fish that's on the river right now. I don't know. I can't keep track of which fish is catchable in which season. I'm gonna run home and get rid of some of these. Caught some iridium on my whatchamacallit, in a treasure chest. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Got something for Gunther. Got two things for Gunther, and I still have some things to crack open, although it's too late for that today. Let's see, let's drop that off. Too late for Clint today. I might still get to Gunther in time. I think he's there till 6. A new reward. Yeah, it's a scarecrow, at least. It's worth something. I like some of the furniture. Decorating items aren't really worth anything, unless you just happen to want to decorate with them. I don't know, I'm thinking that the legendary fish that's available in the fall might be the one you can catch here on this bridge. We will see. Something kind of jumpy. Oop, get back here. Tiger trout. Yeah, they're a little on the jumpy side. Not a real hard one to catch, but they're not easy. Kind of in the middle. Come on now. Ah, shoot. Actually, you know what? I'll bet. Yeah. No, I've still got a lure on there. Figured I'd worn it out by now and just didn't notice. Likely chub. Oh, smallmouth bass. Come on now, back here. Catfish. Of course, for the legendary fish all have minimum fishing levels too, so it's possible I'm just not high enough fishing level to catch this one, even if it is available right now. But I don't know. I don't know if this is where there's one in the fall. Kind of felt right, but I didn't. I think I'd have a bite on it by now if it was. That's alright, I'm still catching fish with value. Not catching this one so much, but gotta be a catfish. Oh, there it is. I was just saying maybe this wasn't the spot, but it is the spot. You can tell because they have a little hat on when it's a legendary fish. It has that little red hat on it. I guess it's a hat. Got him. That was easy. Now I gotta throw something away to take him. Can only catch one of him, so catching the legendary fish, I guess one thing it does for you is it gets you closer to completing one of your collections. I think Willie gives you a reward if you catch all the fish in the game. It's not like a quest that you have, it's just something he does that you don't know is coming if you haven't played before, but so that's one reason to do it. I don't know that they're worth enough to make that a big deal, but okay. Okay. I'm gonna sell a couple things here just to free up a little space. And gonna need to build another chest. There's just no two ways around it. Okay. Keep our special fish in there. They won't go bad or anything. Not like fish thrown into a chest in a warm room would go bad. Okay, I've got a lot of geodes for tomorrow to take to Clint. And I guess everything in the garden is in good shape. Yay, worm bin. That means I don't have to make my own bait anymore. I can just build a worm bin and let it make the bait for me. Hey, you get my key. I got the rusty key. Okay, I got some amaranth I can take to, what's her name? Myrnie. Take some amaranth for her cows. Let's take those inside to be processed. Then I can drop off the amaranth. Okay, so we'll sell that. Take that inside. Sell those. Oops. Okay, stop in and pet things. Okay, need some seeds. Got at least one fertilizer. Take some of those and some of those. Some of those. Okay, let's sell our hazelnut, and then those peppers are supposed to go inside for processing here. Alright. Oh, hold on. I gotta water stuff. Almost forgot after a couple days of rain. I'm not sure if I have the money yet to upgrade my buildings. I'm thinking the barn is probably $10,000 to upgrade the chicken house. I'm not sure about that one. It cost $4,000, I think, to build it originally. So it's probably twice that. This will definitely be the last day for today. It's getting late in real time. Tomorrow will come early, as it usually does. One rock. That's about the worst thing you can find in a geode, is a single rock. Okay, gotta have some good stuff in there. Now, did I still need to take... Yes, I still need to take a frozen geode there, so I'll go ahead and give it... Oh, I'm not at the community center. I'll have to be there to do it. Okay. Okay, that's the only one I got left, so... I might already have one of those back home in storage that I just forgot was there, but anyway. As Jared Genesis would say. So anyway, guys. Man, none of that. I've already got all that stuff, huh? That's the sad story. Sometimes when this game gets into people's sad stories, it's a little bit much, because it's... You can only go so deep into something like that in a video game like this, where that's only a small part of... getting to know the people is just part of the game. And when you start having these deeply sad backgrounds and stuff, it's like, Shane's whole alcoholism thing kind of strikes me that way. It's like, it's kind of, that is a serious issue for some people, and I don't want to say it, what's the word, trivializes it, because I think it's trying to give it a serious treatment. It's just not, maybe not the place for it. I don't know. It doesn't offend me or anything. It just feels a little out of place. Well, let's see. Is there something here I want to drop? Because I'd rather pick up those things. Not really. And part of it too is that the people don't change a whole lot. I mean, there are changes, but as far as physically, they don't change much, or in their patterns. You talk to Pam. Pam drinks too much, and at times you get dialogue with her that, about how she'd like to do better or find another hobby besides going to the bar every night and all that kind of stuff. But, if you play for 5 years, she's still going to the bar because that's how she's programmed. That's what she's programmed to do. Shane, you go through whole cutscenes with Shane where he's about drinking himself to death, and then you help him, and then he's just right back in the bar the next night, because there again, that's just how he's That's just how he's programmed. It's not trying to be, it's not trying to be super detailed with that kind of stuff. Let's see, that's where I put these kind of things. So I don't know, it's just slightly awkward is all. What was I thinking I could go do? Shoot, what was it? It wasn't a quest. Oh, there's the frozen geode I was saving for this, for the community center. I guess that's what I could do. I could go to the community center if there's anything. I don't have any of that stuff yet. Don't have those yet. I've got some of that stuff now. Maybe not 6 of them, though. I already took the corn, so I'm just waiting for pumpkins to get grown, get done. See, I do have some of these fruits. And I do have a cheese, and I would have a honey and a jelly. So I would need 3 of those fruits. The tree fruits. There's one. There's another one, although I hate to give away my only pomegranate. And, well, there's an apple, but there again, I need 3 apples for the community center, and they have to all be the same quality because they have to be a stack. Let's see, what else we got? Winter stuff. I've already got winter root, but I don't think I could have any of those yet. Fish. Don't have those. No. I might have a sardine. Might have a tilapia. Don't have a sturgeon yet. Be my only sardine. I don't really want to give away my only sardine or my only tilapia. Okay, I can't make that yet. There's where I need the geode, but I also need a nautilus shell that I don't think I can get till winter time. Can't get the cabbage till next year. Can't make these things until I have a kitchen. Can't get a truffle till I have a pig. So that brings us back to the beginning. Okay, so I could take that geode. Gosh, what was the other thing I was thinking about doing? Friday is the night for, well, it's the day for the traveling cart. It's also the day everyone's in the bar. Not everyone, but about half the people in town are in the bar in the evening on Fridays. Oh, I was going to take this stuff to sell at the Adventurers Guild. And I'll take this to Clint, if I can get to Clint by 4 o'clock. I should be able to, taking the shortcut. I already talked to him once today. Ooh, came all that way to get some clay. Alright, on up to the Adventurers Guild then. I wasn't even paying attention to what I answered there. I think I answered sci-fi and fantasy. I don't think that one has a good answer, an answer I would actually give. Because I read those things, but I don't only read those things. So, okay, what would I go in there for? Nobody's home. No point in going in there. Yay, I get my insect head thing. Oh, I got that for cave. Yeah, okay. I got that for killing enough cave insects. I'm close on Dougies. Getting there on bats, getting there on skeletons. Okay. Anyway, I don't need that, or that, or that, or that. I think, as long as I have some extra time and energy. Just gonna clear out some of this stuff that I haven't gotten to yet. I should probably plant kind of a forest somewhere. You can actually, there's a couple places you can plant off your farm. The main one being up by the railroad. You can plant that whole area to trees and generate a whole lot of trees. Once they come up. I'll be going to catch sandfish before that much longer. have to be finished pretty soon or I'm going to fall asleep. Oh, I need to plant, or I need to build a bait maker and slap down here to make bait for this thing. Hardwood, gold, iron, and fiber. Alrighty. There's the hardwood and the fiber. The gold and the iron bars. Okay, let's take that, that. All right. Set that down. And I guess that's going to do it for tonight. I'm winding down in a hurry here. All right. So I guess tomorrow, probably run these geodes. I have to remember that this one of these needs to go to the community center. Can't crack them both, but anyway. And oh, and need to use the key. Need to use the rusty key that I got. So I guess that'll be the plan for next time. So that's it for me for tonight, and I thank you for watching.